Hello, this is Jess with chat session number 20, November 20th, 2017. It's about 1:45 p.m. and we're going to go right into little chat, the history that we do in our little chat session. And we're going to go back to 1945. 24 high-ranking Nazi officials go on trial in Nuremberg, Germany, for atrocities committed during World War II. 12 were sentenced to death, 7 others received prison terms ranging from 10 years to life, and 3 were acquitted. 1 committed suicide during the trial, and 1 was declared mentally incompetent to stand trial. They were all high-ranking officials in the Nazi Party. It was in Germany, and all the countries of World War II were overseeing the court. United States, France, Britain, Russia. They were all had representatives there for the trial, and it was a long time. It was quite a long time. I forgot the exact amount of time, but it took a long time, and over 100 different court sessions were needed to make that happen. All right, we're going to go on to back to 1820. On this date, the American whaler Essex, which hailed from Nantucket, Massachusetts, is attacked by an 80-ton sperm whale 2,000 miles from the western coast of South America. Herman Melville's classic novel Moby Dick was inspired in part by the story of the Essex. Of the 20 crew members that had to abandon ship because it was capsized, only 5 survived the 83-day journey to the coastal waters of South America. And it was at one point down on the, I guess on the 3 boats that they were on, they drew straws to see who would be shot so they could, I guess, eat the person that they killed, cannibalism kind of thing, to survive. So that was pretty rough for those guys. But that's the parts in history. And now that we're done with that, we'll move on to other stuff going on in the chat session today. Thanksgiving is this Thursday. Today being Monday, so that's coming up. So we're in the holiday season now. Tomorrow afternoon, I have to have the original incision that was made on my knee to remove a mole, so they can send it off for the biopsy. I will be having a second surgical procedure done tomorrow. They're going to widen the margins of the original surgery and scrape it and make sure that all the bad stuff's out of there and none of it got into my body. That happens on tomorrow. And then on the 27th, I have a CT scan with dye. I guess they're going to look over my organs to make sure they're all clear and free of the yucky stuff. So that's my little health moment that we have for the chat session today. Looking forward to Thanksgiving. I'm going to be doing all the main cooking since everybody else in the family here is going to be at work. My job does have time off, so I'll be doing all the cooking the turkey and the different things. There will be some stuff prepared ahead of time, but I'll be doing all the the main food items. I was hoping that my brother Scott would come, but he notified me that he's just not going to be able to make it, which is sort of par for the course. He doesn't usually attend family get-togethers, which I understand. I understand that he just doesn't want to do it, and no pressure, but I wish every now and then he would come down. My kids haven't seen him in a long time, but that's the way things go. Alright, so on to other stuff. Football was yesterday, and of course tonight my team plays. Seattle plays tonight against the Falcons. Go Seattle. I have a football board at work, and I failed to be the winner this week. I do believe I missed 6 teams out of the Sunday games, and then of course I'll get the one right tonight since I picked Seattle. But other people on the board missed only 4, so that takes me out of the race, which is fine. I have won it in the past, but there were some rough games. I went with some upsets. The Patriots really beat the crap out of the Raiders down in Mexico City. I, of course, picked the Raiders, and knew better, but I just thought that it was a must-win for them to stay in the playoff hunt, but they couldn't pull it off. Brady's just got too many weapons out there on the field, and of course he's accurate, and they defeated the Raiders in overwhelmingly. I did pick the Vikings over the Rams. I was one of the few people that did pick the Vikings on the board at work. Good solid defense by the Vikings. Good solid offense by the Vikings. They held the highest scoring team in the NFL to 7 points, which will be the Rams. And I think the Vikings are great contention for a Super Bowl championship this year. I was disappointed in the Cowboy performance against the Eagles. I'm just not a fan of the Eagles. No offense to the Eagle players or other people that live in Philadelphia, but I just am not a fan of the Eagles. But they pounded the Cowboys. Probably one of the worst defeats at home for the Cowboys since the Eagles beat them back, I believe it was 2003. So, back to the drawing board for Prescott and the team. Hopefully they can come out and have a win on Thanksgiving Day, but we'll see. They have a lot of key players out, which is no excuse. Every team this year has been dealing with some pretty devastating injuries. The Texans won, and that was a good thing. They were playing the Cardinals. Congratulations to Larry Fitzgerald becoming the 5th all-time receiving yardage in the passing game, passing Tony Gonzalez Sunday when they were playing the Texans. I think he needed 67 yards, and he got that no problem. So congratulations to Larry Fitzgerald for that. And now we'll get off the sports for a minute and go on to other stuff. I think that there needs to be some kind of integrity check in the Trump administration. I think that there's always been problems in every administration of certain people that are put into positions, but Trump's just really focusing on the really unqualified people that are his cronies, that have a lot of money, a lot of businessmen, that kind of thing, and they're just not qualified for the positions that he's putting them in. There was a Secretary of Treasury. He took his wife into the U.S. Mint and pulled off a sheet of freshly printed bills, and they took selfies in front of it. I think that's pretty poor judgment. Just showing their, I don't know, just showing the kind of people that he's picking. They think they're privileged, and there's just no place for it in those positions. So maybe we can, as a group of Americans, or all across the country, we can call and show that we're not happy about the way there's people are acting, the elitists, the way they think they deserve everything, and the way that they are coming off as being for the common man and all, but they don't have a clue. And it's unfortunate, but it's also a direct reflection of us, the people, allowing this kind of nonsense to go on. But anyway, I'm not going to go any further with that at this time. Appreciate anyone who made it to the 11-minute mark, which is where we are now. We're going to go ahead and end this chat session. And I'd like to go back and, of course, end it the way I always do. Be truthful, be happy, and let's look out for each other, okay? It's Monday, November 20th, 2017. And have a great afternoon. I'll be going to work in about 3 hours. And be back over here tomorrow for chat session number 21 if we're so privileged to be. So have a great Monday. Go Seattle.